Yeah, hey guys. So I'm going to read you a poem that I've been working on all year, I'd say. I've tweaked it many times, cut and paste little tiny tidbits I write here and there into it, always shuffling things around. So some of you have heard a little bit of this, some of it's a little new. Either way, here we go. The past few months, all I can think of is bodies. Piling up in the doorway and on mattresses and in streets of shattered cities. Bedrooms and dirt pits filled to the brim with arms and legs and mouths agape. Each time I come home and each time I wake, I hold my sorrow in my palms, where it echoes like a sob throbbing against the brick of a cold, dark well. Hands, cupped full, brimming with acetone, this is how we go to war. And I'm taken back to somewhere tucked between humid green hills and mosquitoes are buzzing, and there is an ache. Alarm clocks are blaring, and somehow I can't hear them. Somehow I can't hear them. Somehow I can't hear them screaming. Somehow, even in the face of fire, we would rather go back to sleep. Ropes I've slung around my own neck because I've seen others do the same. Monkey see, monkey do. Wherever you go, I will follow you. When the fire returned to my skin, I tried to run from my own wrath. Bathed in the ashes of silence and carefully groomed cuticles, hearing names in the crowd that sound like yours and the hush-bustling movement of, again, bodies brushing themselves against each other with remorse and with fervor and with less knowledge of their own than that of their counterparts. Bodies searching desperately in the dark for a feeling, a pulse, any indication that there's something alive here, breathing despite it all, despite the ash and the ropes and all of the carnage we have made of our own bodies on battlefields dressed in Ethiopian linen, some mild thread count cotton, or a dirty floor. Remember, this is how we go to war, well-groomed and hungry. Some days all I can muster is a half-scorched, blank-eyed gaze towards a void white ceiling, and I'm reaching, grasping at the air, watching my unsteady arms wavering and my fingers, they open, close, open, close, desperately looking for something to fucking hold on to. Grief that there's never quite enough time. Feverishly digging through the mound of clothes that has accumulated on my floor, searching for the goddamn pause button. Grief that somehow I've hauled a beach's worth of sand into the mountains by hand, and yet each single grain has slipped through without a moment's more than a hello. Through my fingers, they open close. Open close. And it seems that every spring I mourn my body, the parts of her that are still numb from the fires I've slept through, scar tissue, all that remains, and there is an ache. Winter melts away and the skeletons of everything that has died emerge, piercing, jagged like shipwrecks, frames that once were bodied, bodies moored by the lure of sirens like a moth to a flame, no survivors. And I'm scratching at the walls from the inside, shreds of paper and plaster making a chalk mine of my lungs, particles of you choking me at the back of my throat. And they say that you can't release what you haven't held, and so I say I'll breathe better today as I strap my inhaler into my holster like a gun. I have fire extinguishers in every room, but don't call it neurosis. Strapping my inhaler into my holster like a gun. And bodies, we put them on the altar for the slaughter like human sacrifice. And so many times in my life, I've lost my way in the speed of talking, all of a sudden stranded, fog all around. Bodies, trembling and stumbling over the limited ways that we have learned to say, I love you. With our tongues and our fingers and with tight chests and held breaths. I think you knew what I meant. When I traced your spine, reading your body like Braille in the milky indigo ecstasy of a midnight prayer. Who needs sleep when you can suck the marrow from each other's bones? This is how the world ends. Not with a bang, but with a whisper of stay. This is how the world ends. With a lover's hand reaching out one last time to grasp at another's throat. This is how the world ends. Not with a bang, not with a bang. Ring around the rosy, pockets full of posies, ashes, ashes. We all fall down around a misguided intention, soaked bronze and whiskey from a plastic bottle, silencing the fiendish.